Those who like to say good morning to you. And I will be speaking about a variety of topics today. There will be subject matter of sex tourism. There will be subject matter of prostitution. There will be talk about and mention of murder, corrupt monarchies, murder for hire, political assassinations. There will be some mentioning of, or probably quite a good bit of talk about war and apocalyptic speech. There will be talk about biblical pretense when it comes to fallen angels or fallen entities or beings, whichever you would like to refer to them as, and their work in and amongst humanity. Notice I said in and amongst humanity. So the first subject that I'm going to address is just straight out the gate, because the rest of this subject matter is going to be more political. So I'm going to get this part out of the way. When it comes to what's her name, Ailea Brown, aka Casino Mom, who is Big Tigger's wife, estranged wife, about to be ex-wife, whichever. I want you all to know that according to what I have sensed for some time now, according to what I know spiritually, this is spiritual communication. These are allegations, these are accusations, this is speculation, this is me giving you my supposition about what has happened to Ailea Brown's daughter named Ailea Brown. Now, Ailea Brown is spelled Ailea. Last name is Brown, Brown. She's a Maryland girl who was missing for 7 years. Now, her mother, Ailea Brown, I posted a video on the community page 2 days ago. Her mother, Ailea Brown, had allegedly or purportedly kidnapped her when the father of Ailea, who is different from Big Tigger, when the father won custody, that's when Ailea Brown decided she was going to take the baby and do what she wanted to do despite what the court said, and that is considered kidnapping because you don't have custody. So if it was joint custody or shared, then that would not necessarily be considered kidnapping if you are in possession of your child at the time that you're supposed to, according to court agreement or attorney agreement with the court, mediator, however. But she lost custody, okay? She lost custody. She chose to take the girl, her daughter, despite the father having won custody. That is kidnapping. If someone has custody of a child and the other parent does not have custody, and they go to that child's school and pick that child up, and that other parent is not listed to pick up that child or to be allowable to come in and get the child, that is kidnapping. Y'all need to learn these kidnapping laws, okay? Because niggas like to and bitches like to do this shit. But that's going to get you 15 to 20 years upstate. Easily, flat. It's a flat 15 to 20 years on average for kidnapping for each charge. So that's not something you want to fuck around with. That's damn near murder charge time. Kidnapping is not a game. It's not funny. Motherfuckers need to know you're going to do 2 decades on that shit a lot of times. 2 decades. So this shows the type of bitch Ailea Brown is. Huh? Tigger had a goddamn curse on his daddy's side that attracted crazy, stupid, ridiculous, criminalist ass bitches to him. That's how he got with trash, huh? Y'all better be careful about what your parents were doing or were attracting. And if you can find out information from the family, seeing black families, they like to keep a lot of shit hush hush because they know they was up to no fucking good a lot of times. So they won't tell their son that they were married for example, but they were fucking and sliding on the side. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Niggas don't like to say that shit. That was hush hush, but they did it anyway. And then them curses fall and that bad energy falls onto their children, just like the Bible said. It will curse the children. The father's doings will curse the children to the 5th and 6th generation. I heard the damn 7th or the 9th generation. Personally, a lot of words and precepts have been changed in the Bible. So Ailea Brown, I'm going to tell you right now, you can say whatever you want to say, bitch. Like I said before, don't nobody care that you ran your motherfucking bullheaded ass into a doorknob and fucked your own face up because you would not give that man his phone. You worried about a phone, but you wasn't worried about your child, though. When you sat your motherfucking ass in that casino for 8 hours and left your child in the Maryland cold. Maryland is on the coast. It's a cold motherfucking state in the wintertime. Okay? Y'all, I didn't even mean to turn the damn chat on. Shit. What the fuck am I doing? But anyway, it's on. Maryland is a very cold state in the winter. And you left a 4-year-old in the cold to go gamble for 8 hours, fuck around for 8 hours, eat hot wings or eat off the damn buffet bar in the casino and walk around for 8 hours and did not take your raggedy ass back out to that car and even check on her. She shouldn't have been left in the first place. But the human decency was absent. You didn't even check on her. Then 4 years later, or around 4 years later, Ailea goes missing. Well, I want to tell y'all that Ailea Brown, along with Aaliyah's father, allegedly murdered Ailea. Ailea Brown is dead, y'all. I know a lot of y'all have suspected it. She's dead. She been dead. Ain't no way a 17-year-old with parents out here in the public view at the BET Award. The mama, Ailea Brown, was on Tigger arm at the BET Awards and other special events. There's no way a 17-year-old of a no-list motherfucking celebrity, not Tigger, but the bitch. The bitch is a no-list celebrity, all right? Not a Z-lister, not a D-lister, a no-lister, God damn it. Ain't no way a 17-year-old gonna stay hidden when their parent is in the spotlight living good. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Mark? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. So, Ailea Brown, rest her soul, is dead. She is deceased. Y'all will not find her alive. Her mother killed her, and her father helped. How did she die? She died of suffocation. Then they dumped her body in a body of water. Haven't I been telling y'all about children being buried in mass graves and dumped in bodies of water? I've been saying this very thing for the last year on damn near every single live stream. I've been talking about one child or multiple children dumped in bodies of water or buried in mass graves in remote areas. Some of them were buried in graves up under goddamn houses and shit, in people's backyards and shit. So that's where Ailea Brown is. She ain't out there. She's not alive. They dumped her in Chesapeake Bay. Y'all need to charge Ailea Brown with first-degree murder of a child, first-degree child abuse, child neglect, and everything else you can pile on her, state of Maryland. And y'all are motherfucking sick to let this bitch run around for 7 years with active warrants. Now, I know the state of Georgia warrant was just issued as of like last week, but the Maryland warrant or warrants have been active for 7 years. They let that bitch run around for 7 motherfucking years. They didn't want to get this child no justice because she's a black child. They didn't want to get this child, you know, found. They didn't want to know. They didn't care. And even if they knew, they let the bitch have a life for damn near a decade. They knew exactly where she was at. Don't give me that shit about she changed names, she got married. It is very easy to find people. Very. Particularly when they look the fucking same. It's very easy to find them. The bitch was on national and international TV with Tigger. I don't care if her last name changed. The police saw her motherfucking ass and didn't arrest her. State of Maryland. You gonna have hell to pay for that. Now, I want the community to know Ailea Brown's dead. Her mama suffocated her. Her daddy helped, and they dumped her body. Then, after she disposed of Ailea Brown, the first daughter, she named another daughter of hers, Ailea Brown. If that's not obvious to you that that is murder, what is? And referring to another motherfucking murderer, this is common sense shit, y'all. But I have to come up and point these obvious things to you. I have to be not Captain Obvious. I have to be General Obvious, goddammit. To tell the general public about obvious motherfucking shit. Y'all in the state of South Carolina, goddammit, y'all let Alex Murdaugh off after he definitely killed his son and his wife. You let him off and talking about, well, we're going to overturn the conviction and we're going to have a new trial. Well, I don't know if that's some kind of, humiliation ritual thing of where you're going to take him down. You're going to take me down through there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take him down through there again. You're going to take him down through there again to, ravage him again and then give him the goddamn death penalty. Do it. However, the bitch last name is Murdaugh. Murderer. Okay? I've told you about people's last names now. Murdaugh happens to be a murderer. It's not a far stretch. Now, I'm not saying everybody with that last name is a murderer, but it happens to fit here. You think that's a coinky-dink, a coincidence? Y'all let that bitch off, and y'all gonna have hell to pay. And it's a lot of ways where you can have hell to pay. Storms can come and tear apart your state. A lot of things can happen. You can lose federal funding on different projects. A lot of ways, I can stick you. We can stick you a lot of ways. So nobody out there that hears this needs to be worried about where Ailea Brown is and if she's okay. She's not okay. All right, meaning she's not in the land of the living, but on the other side, she's fine. She's no longer living. Her mother killed her, disposed of her body, and went on with life and got 2 or 3 more goddamn families started. How many other children does she have out there? We don't fucking know. I'm just saying theoretically. How many other niggas have she fucked and abandoned the kids? Or killed the goddamn, killed a relationship, acting a fool like she was acting in the video. And by the way, the nature of what happened to Tigger, also known as Darian Brown, the nature of what happened to him and all that humiliation and dragging him through the mud and people accusing him of being a woman beater and him losing his position at his radio job, and it's like, y'all need to rehire him. And even if you don't rehire him, somebody else give him an opportunity. Once everything kind of smooths down over, give him another opportunity, because that was not his fault. You got a whole child abuser and child murderer and child motherfucking a breeder who neglects her children. She take care of the children with Mr. Darian Brown, aka Big Tigger, because he's famous. But the other children, how were they treated? I wonder what stories they would tell. I wonder what stories people who were around would tell before she got with Darian, before she got with Big Tigger. And so, the black community has been too soft on child murderers. I gave you a slew of child murderers. And by the way, let me say this. Those of you out there, and I'm not talking about just regular subscribers. The people that this applies to, they're very particular and it's very specific. So I'm not trying to, make anyone catch any strays who are just regular subscribers and who aren't involved or who aren't connected. Those of you out there who claim to be my riders, who claim to be Ace Boon Coon, who claim, to be we folks, we family, we people, we La Cosa Nostra. You know what I'm saying? Those of you who claim that, but you let my enemies run around me. Some of my enemies are still running around me. That's not Omerta code. I created Omerta code. Omerta, Italian. I created that in a past life as Al Capone. So that's not Omerta code to let your boss get shot at. So those of you who had an opportunity to lay my enemies down, to deal with them, to put them in prison, whichever, and who did not, you will be laid down. All right? That's how that's going to work. I've been saying an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So you let them shoot at me, I'm going to allow people to shoot at you. How about that? You let them, endanger my children, I'm going to allow people to endanger your children if you have them. You let them endanger my ability to have a family, I'm going to allow people to endanger your ability to be alive or ever have a family, let alone anything else. I'm not doing none of that disloyal bullshit of y'all weak ass people and niggas standing around letting a motherfucker run around LA and do all kind of crazy shit, pop all kind of shit, hack my phones, hack my Wi-Fi, and do all of this stuff, and you didn't fucking touch him, you didn't fade him, you didn't spray him with mace, you didn't do shit. I am going to get you out of my way, okay? Gonna get you out of the public's way because you're a coward. You have no business being in business and in league with us, and you're going to go. You can go be in league with somebody else, okay? But you're going to be shut out of whatever we got going on. And the network is extensive. So I'm going to just let you know that. It could be sports. It could be entertainment. It could be music. It could be... We will sit your motherfucking ass down. And then one day you'll disappear. All right? That's how that's going to go. Moving along. Rest in peace. I hate to say rest in peace to people who were murdered because that's not peaceful. So I usually say rest in power or rise in power. So Ailea Brown is capable of speaking to me. So her mama and the general public don't know what the fuck she said to me or what the fuck she may have said to others. Huh? She was 10 years old when she was murdered. That's old enough to say some things. Just like I said, the young man came in here. I called up to the third heaven. I said, this Michael, send me one of these young people that was murdered by this bitch and his crew and his organization. And he appeared in all white, young teen man, 15 years old, in all white, appeared and walked in my door 7 minutes later. Well, he and Ailea Brown talk. They're both passed on angelic young people, children. Ailea Brown was a child at the time. You die at 10, you stay 10 on the other side. You don't continue to go older. So she not 17 on the other side, she 10. Going forward with this other situation that I would like to speak about. This is in regard to a monarchy. Specifically, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Mark. Okay. So, to the nation of Thailand, the kingdom of Thailand, I would like to say my sincere condolences and prayers and sympathies go out to them, their nation, all those around the world who were righteous people, decent people who loved Thai Princess Bajrakitiyabha, also known as Princess Ba. And Bajrakitiyabha is spelled Bajrakitiyabha. She was the Thai princess. She's a lawyer, diplomat, and she served as Thailand's ambassador to Austria, Slovakia, and Slovenia from 2012 to 2014. She transitioned on the 11th of June, 2026, after nearly 4 years in a coma, and this was the coma was allegedly due to some kind of purported heart condition. They said she collapsed one day, and she just never woke up. They had her on life support, and I'm going to tell you what happened for her to transition after being in a coma that long. I'm going to tell you what happened. When I got on my phone some weeks ago, it was about 6 days after Princess Bajrakitiyabha's funeral, her funerary procession. Her urn or remains are at the king and the queens and the queen regents, their palace, basically. So I watched that. I watched the funerary procession on several different networks, and as I was watching it, it was a lot of sadness over me. And then after I got done watching it, I just kind of sat quietly for a while, and then I could see her face. And the reason why is because I have a past life that was deeply in Thailand. I had a past life in Thailand, and I also have lineage in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, China, and I would say also parts of India, because some of these national borders have changed over the years. They've changed drastically as kingdoms have come and gone, or risen and fallen, changed from a monarchy to a democracy, or from a monarchy to a republic, and so forth. So I could feel the energy, and then I saw her face. It was like in the cartoons or in the comic books, they have the ... thought cloud pop up above your head. And that's how I could see her. It was in front of me, maybe about 8 feet in front, and about 10 or 11 feet off of the floor. And I could see her face, and it was shining, and it was gold around her face, and I could hear her speaking. And not only was she speaking to me telepathically, she was speaking through my spirit board as well. So as I was holding my pendulum, she was speaking. She was spelling words. I could hear her as she was speaking. She did not tell me at that moment how she collapsed, or what might have been done to cause her to fall ill, but she did tell me why she died. And she wanted me to warn her father. I've been under a lot of spiritual duress and attack, so it took me a while to get to this point and to get the green light on, okay, you can go ahead and talk about it. But she wanted me to warn her father and the rest of the Thai military, as well as the Thai kingdom, that there were 3 men that came into her hospital room while she was on life support in a coma. And some nurses at the hospital allowed 3 men to come into her room. They injected something into her IV, and that is how she died. She did not die of natural circumstances. It was an organized hit. She said that the 3 men are from the Philippines, that it was the Philippine government that did it. All right, this is allegedly, this is purportedly, this is spiritual communication. Princess Bajrakitiyabha said that the Philippine government or military or some kind of special operations group was hired to send 3 hitmen to kill her. No more in a coma, because they were worried about her recovering. And I was told by other beings, other spirits, that this particular assassination type of style that they do is used in Asia to attack monarchies and to attack rulers and leaders. And so they control Asia in this way, in their own way. They shift the chess pieces on the board by killing this one and killing that one. And Princess Bajrakitiyabha was going to be the next ruler, as far as I know. As far as what was said, she was supposed to be the next ruler after her father. So they assassinated her. The nurses allowed them to come into her room. So why was security absent from Princess Bajrakitiyabha's room? Why was the nurses allowing these men in black to come in? It's done now. And Princess Bajrakitiyabha is an ascended master. That's why I saw gold around her face. And she was speaking to me from Shangri-La. I am able to be connected like that because I've told you my other ascended master identities, my deity names, past lives, but I didn't tell this one because it just never came up for me to tell it. I found out quite some time ago that I am Tara, the goddess mother of Tibetan Buddhism, and significant in other types of Buddhism, including in Thailand. So having a past life in the Siam kingdom, I was an empress in a past life. The nation of Thailand has already verified this because they ran my DNA. So they knew this about me before I had it confirmed spiritually. They had already confirmed it through my DNA. And then I was told about it spiritually and told about it from other humans that, you were in the Siam kingdom and you were an empress. Now, they didn't give me my name or the years, but that's what they said. And I always wonder, why was I always, why were Thai people, Cambodian people always attracted to me, East Indian people and so forth, Asian people, Chinese people, Filipino people, Korean people, and it's because I had a lot of past lives there. But me being Tara, the mother goddess in Tibetan Buddhism, that is significant. That's a major role. So I wanted to tell you all that about Princess Bajrakitiyabha. That was a hit. Her family needs to know. And they came from the Philippines. Now I'm going to get to the Philippines in a moment. There's an issue going on with Israel. Naturally, most people know Israel stays in some mess. They stay, in the headlines. And I'm going to tell you how this connects to China. Since I spoke about China and Asia and Buddhism, I'm going to tell you how it connects to China. So President Xi Jinping, this morning around, I guess it was around 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time today, Friday, July 10th, 2026. And I got this message that I was talking with some spiritual beings and they're benevolent. And then I started to feel this energy of China and President Xi Jinping. And I had already mentioned the kings of the East as it's mentioned in the Bible when it comes to Armageddon. I'd already mentioned that in the last live stream. And I think I may have mentioned it in another live stream or another upload in between there within the last 4 months or so, 3 to 4 months. I saw President Xi Jinping this morning, and I had noticed this before because I would watch and do watch when he and President Vladimir Putin meet, when either President Putin goes to China or President Xi Jinping goes to Russia. I usually watch those meetings and those summits. And I watch the body language and all the pomp and circumstance, and I like to hear the plans that they have in their speeches. So the last time I was watching President Xi Jinping, I was just really honing in on how peaceful his face looks. he has a very peaceful disposition. And some people may disagree and say, oh, but Tiananmen Square and this. Well, you can be a president and not control what the troops do. You can be a president and not know what the CIA does. You can be a president and not know what the FBI does. That happens in every nation. They don't always clue the president in on everything. So while Tiananmen Square happens, that's not necessarily the president saying do it. You know, so there have been many declassified documents in America where the CIA carried out things and the president had no knowledge of it and did not give permission. There have been things where the military was doing things and they bypassed the president and did it with the advisement of their generals, admirals, and joint chiefs of staff. So I noticed this a long time ago, but it was more so on my spirit this year. And the last time he and President Xi Jinping of China and President Vladimir Putin of Russia were together, I just noticed how peaceful the disposition was, how warm they are to one another, and how they seem to be genuine friends. And this morning when I saw President Xi Jinping's, his face, it was like in that thought cloud again above my head, but like forward a little bit and above my head. Kind of like if you're just sitting in a room and you kind of like look up in the ceiling a little bit, look up in the corner of the room. That's how it appears. That's been happening to me for many years, long before I started doing content. And when I saw his face not in the usual peaceful, calm, stoic disposition he has when you see him in the media. I saw him he had a grimace on his face. He had a frown and his head was bowed and his shoulders were hunched over as if he was being oppressed. And then I saw a being over him, a negative being, a nefarious being over him, like hanging over him like a hag, like a monster, like a villain, just like hovering over him. And he was being oppressed by this thing. And I'm like, I asked the spirits, I said, what is this? Who the fuck is this? First of all, and then let me roll it back. In the past 3 days, I've seen two things. I've seen the word Mao, meaning Mao Zedong, who was a ruler in China, and I've seen a quotation by him. Someone wrote a quotation in some comments that I read that said, well, you know, Mao Zedong, Mao always said that in order to kill an idea, you got to kill the mind that thinks it. And so I saw Mao and I saw China and all these different keywords and tags over the last couple of days that correlate to President Xi Jinping and just the country of China. And so I said, what is this being? And the spirit said, his name is Ataros, Atiros. And I said, okay, that name sounds real familiar. What's another name he's known by? And they said Azazel. I said, oh, okay. I said, so was this what Mao Zedong was possessed with? They said, yeah. They said that's why he allegedly killed all these people, because Azazel was controlling him. Azazel was inhabiting his vessel. And if you don't know who Azazel is, Azazel or Azazel, that is a major principality. He is the one who taught humans how to war. He also taught human sciences, but he taught humans how to make war. So he's a murderous fallen angel to begin with. So I said, okay, so he was inhabiting Mao Zedong. And I said, so Mao was not in existence, but the spirit that was in Mao is. The principality that was running Mao Zedong is in existence and is oppressing President Xi Jinping. That's why it was a couple of years ago. I don't know exactly how many years, but the video will still be up because I rarely ever hide any videos or take anything down. I talked about Taiwan and I said the war with Taiwan was going to start on a certain date, and I think it was in a short period of time after I said it's going to start in like 6 months. Well, the actual war between Taiwan and China did not start at that date. The troop buildup did. So I said war, but really what it was the rumors and the buildings of the rumblings of war. The troops coming together, the horses gathering, all right, the tanks rolling up. That started at that time. President Xi Jinping, in my opinion, spiritually, does, and what the spirit said, that he does not want war with Taiwan nor with anybody. He is more interested in mutual cooperation and peace, mutual import, export, and trade, and peace. This entity, this principality, Azazel, is oppressing him and like, do it, start a war, do it, start a war. And what it is it's a bloodletting, it's a blood sacrifice to that entity. So it goes around and says, now start a war over here, because war is sanctioned murder. It's state sanctioned, national sanctioned murder, that at its simplest level. So it goes around and gets in this person's ear and gets in that person. And if they're a full open vessel, he will possess them like an Adolf Hitler. Now, I'm not saying Azazel did possess Adolf Hitler, but I'm saying that he definitely possessed Mao Zedong. Now, I'm going to give you the history on this, the information, so that you don't have to do all this Googling or looking for yourself. And then I'm gonna mention the Philippines before I get off. So Azazel taught humanity war. He's a major principality, but he's not the lead principality. The king of the principalities was Satan. And I said was because Satan is no more. So there are other principalities that are still in existence. All the fallen, all the watchers are not gone, but Satan is. So there's another principality here, Azazel, that is trying to start a war. And I kept talking about Armageddon and the kings of the East, even in private. It says, I'm going to give you some information on Azazel because I'm going to tie this together with Israel. It says in the Hebrew Bible, the name Azazel, or Azazel, represents a desolate place where a scapegoat bearing the sins of the Jews or Jewish people was sent during the holy day of Yom Kippur, which is spelled Y-O-M, separate word, capital K-I-P-P-U-R. During the late Second Temple period, after the closure of the Hebrew Bible's canon, or its books that have been let out to the public, Azazel came to be viewed as a fallen angel who was responsible for introducing humans to forbidden knowledge, as described in the book of Enoch. His role as a fallen angel partly remains in Christian and Islamic traditions. And if you notice, it's always the Arabs and the Jews fighting. Now, who's responsible for this? Is it Azazel? Let's see. So it says there is a portion in the Bible. There's some art out there, some stained glass art and other types of art out there. It says there's one at the Lincoln Cathedral, and it says, quote, this particular piece of glass art says, and Aaron shall cast lots over the two goats, one for the Lord, and the other lot was cast for Azazel. They were going to sacrifice one goat for the Lord, who they were calling God, and the other one was for Azazel. Now, some of you, I've already told you, or you've heard me say it, the God of the Bible, the majority of the God of the Bible was Satan. They've been calling him God, but he ain't God. The Christians have been fooled into that. So why was Aaron a Jew, an early Old Testament Jewish patriarch? He's a patriarch because he's an older father like Moses, a leader like Moses or Moshe. Aaron was casting lots for the Lord and for Azazel. So who's the Lord? Satan, the king of the principalities. This is why in the book of Revelations it says, those who say they are Jews and are not, they are the synagogue of Satan. They were casting lots for the Lord Satan and his, Ace Boon Coon, his lieutenant Azazel. This is one of the reasons why they keep getting hit. They were worshiping the wrong thing. This is why Christianity, being as widespread as it is, this world is full of shit. This world is full of pedophiles, rapists, and the Christians don't do jack shit about them. That's because they not worshiping a benevolent God. I've said that repeatedly. The God of the Bible is Satan. That's why there is so much filth on this earth. This is Satan's domain, or was, and since he gone, the next one come up. The next one running shit. Now, I'm not going to give Azazel that kind of clout and say he running shit, but principalities are still out there. So in the Torah, even in Israel, in the Judean desert, there is a Mount Azazel. Y'all got a mountain named after this motherfucker. You can't convince me you ain't worshiping him. You can't convince me you ain't worshiping him. You ain't even renamed the damn mountain. All these years you've had a Mount Azazel and a cliff of Mount Azazel, also known as Jabal Muntar, Jabelmuntar. Y'all can't convince me you not worshiping devils, Israel. You can't convince me. You're the synagogue of Satan. The Bible said it. This is why you were cast out. This is why you were cast out. This is why you had to be given a place to stay, as your sanctioned state. This is why you're involved in Zionism, right? Because you secretly worship Azazel still to this day. You are the synagogue of Satan, which means Satan is the big daddy, your Lord, and then his principalities are his disciples. You see how it's the good, Jesus and the 12 disciples, and the evil, Satan and his watchers and or his principalities, his fallen, those that rebelled along with him. They still worship, and I'm going to tell you right now. It says in the Hebrew Bible, the term is used 3 times in chapter 16 of the book of Leviticus, Old Testament law. You know, Leviticus has got that law in it, telling you how to eat, telling you what you should not touch, and how you ought to be as a good Judean or a good Jew or Hebrew person. In the 16th chapter of the book of Leviticus, there were 2 male goats that were to be sacrificed to Yahweh, aka Satan, and one of the 2 was selected by Lot. For Yahweh is seen as speaking through the lots, meaning casting lots, kind of like throwing bones in spirituality. 1 goat was selected by a lot and sent into the wilderness. That was Azazel's sacrifice. Here's your goat, Azazel. Here's your blood sacrifice. We put the sins on it. We're going to send it to you. Now have your sacrifice. Now, why are you sacrificing to him? What is he doing for you? This goat was then cast out into the desert as a scapegoat as a part of Yom Kippur. Are y'all still doing this, huh? Y'all still doing it. Yom Kippur coming up in October. Y'all still doing this. You're doing the shit right after my feast day, which is September 29th. You see the good and evil. The end of the damn near the last day of September is my feast day as Michael, aka Mary Magdalene. And then they got a feast day called Yom Kippur for Azazel right after that. Then they want to holler about October 7th. But they attacked us and they beat us down. And the Yom Kippur War of 1973, also known as the Arab-Israeli War. And they keep attacking us. Why are you getting attacked? Because you are serving a warlord named Azazel. So after the goat was cast out into the desert as a part of the Yom Kippur sacrifice, do you think they've stopped this? They've been doing this shit since 2400 BC. Do you think they have stopped sacrificing to Azazel? Do you think? They always in the headlines getting hit or hitting somebody. Do you think they have stopped sacrificing to him? So it spread. The scapegoat ritual to Azazel can be traced back to 2400 BC whence it spread throughout the ancient Near East afterward. So there is a quote in the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible, which is the NRSV version, Leviticus chapter 16, verses 6 through 10. It says, Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering for himself, and shall make atonement, because Yom Kippur is also known as the Day of Atonement, for himself and for his house, or for his lineage. He shall take the 2 goats and set them before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of the meeting. And Aaron shall cast lots on the 2 goats. One lot will be for the Lord, their Lord Satan, and the other lot will be for Azazel, which is one of his main major principalities. Aaron shall present the goat on which the lot fell for the Lord, and offer it as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell for Azazel shall be presented alive before the Lord to make atonement over it, and it will be sent away into the wilderness to Azazel. So Azazel has been hanging around y'all backwoods, man. Huh? Ain't Azazel been hanging around your backyard, Israel? Okay. I'm going to get with you on it. Allegedly, the Sanhedrin, the same Sanhedrin that said, Jesus, you're a liar. Yeshua, you're a liar. We hate you. You're not the Son of God. You're blasphemous. You're an apostate. You're heretical. We want you out of here. We're going to kill you. We're going to stone you. We're going to do whatever we want to do to you. We don't like you because you're holy. I'm going to tell you, they're still doing it in secret. It says, well, Mark says, I was raised Jewish, and yes, it goes on, but now that we are in this new timeline, at least from what I saw, the blood magic is undone, and anything not matching frequency is already no longer here. The new timeline could have started, but they have not stopped, which is why I'm here about to tell them, if they don't stop, then major war is coming to them. So you're right about that. The new timeline has stopped, but I have to tell them verbally as a prophet, like in the Bible, the prophets were like, don't do this because it's going to anger the Most High, and it can bring wrath and disease and famine and disaster, bad, drought upon your nation, upon your village, upon your people. So I have to tell them verbally, even if they no longer do it widespread, there is a secret group within the Sanhedrin, even if it's 3 people, they still have a shrine to Azazel. So as a prophet, I have to tell them, stop it. And I mean stop it today. Whenever they hear it, they have to stop it. Or else war is going to come. There are going to be 2 to 3 or more nations that are going to come together. They're going to strike Israel in the heart of Israel, and Israel will not be able to recover. That's what's going to come if they continue to do this blood magic that you're talking about. So you are bang on with that right there. You are absolutely connected right there. And I appreciate you for saying that. I knew it was a reason I accidentally left the chat on. I knew it was a reason. There it is, confirmed. It says, so the spirits were telling me the Sanhedrin, there's a group within the Sanhedrin. It's kind of like how they have these secret groups within the Vatican or the priesthood that may have some other dealings with other beings other than the Most High, other than Yeshua, and so forth. There's a secret group within the Sanhedrin. They may go unmarked and unnoticed, but they are still worshiping Azazel in secret. Yom Kippur is, the Day of Atonement, but that entire week of Yom Kippur is a feast week observed by this group within the Sanhedrin, and they have a shrine to Azazel. Now, for those that are not familiar with the history, the Yom Kippur War was from October 6th to 25th, 1973. It was fought when Egypt and Syria launched surprise attacks on Israel during Jewish holy day Yom Kippur and during the Islamic sacred holy month of Ramadan. Now, I am telling them, Yom Kippur's coming up in a couple of months. If they don't stop with this shrine, they have to destroy this shrine to Azazel. If they do not stop it, they are going to be attacked. Now, it's interesting to me that they had the Yom Kippur War, October 6th through 25th, 1973, and then they had October 7th of 2023, which was, quote, attacks where a series of military or armed incursions from blockaded Gaza or Palestine were purportedly sent into the Gazan envelope of South Israel or Southern Israel, end quote. Why is it happening on the same day if you're not still worshiping him? This was just 2023. You just had these attacks and said all these Israelis died, and it's the it's the Arabs, the Muslims, and it's Hamas, it's Hamas, it's Hamas, it's Hamas. Maybe Hamas deserved to kick your fucking ass because you keep worshiping a warmongering devil. You keep worshiping the king of war. What do you expect is going to be dropped into your lap? Now you got another October 6th, October 7th coming up here. You still got a shrine to him, and then you want the world to feel sorry for you, where I'm letting the world and America know that you have been bringing this on yourself. Knowingly. And 73 and 2023, what is that, 50 years? That's exactly 50 years. October 6th, 1973 to October 7th, 2023. That is exactly 50 years in one day. Why is it 50 years in one day? Well, that's a 6 for your 666 mark of the beast, Satan's synagogue, right? That's why you did it, eh? And then you want America to give you all this money and all these arms from taxpayers' dollars. Talking about, well, we're being hit by the Muslim hordes, and the Muslims and the Arabs keep bothering us and keep shooting at us, and you know exactly why they're shooting at you. Look at what you're doing. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you after this that hears this message and gets what I'm saying. You are worshiping a principality that is a worker, a lieutenant of Satan. You were worshiping Satan. That's who they were calling Lord in the Bible. Yahweh, a Babylonian moon god named Yahweh, aka Satan or Hashatan. They ain't never worshiped God. Not the real God, not the real Most High. So the 10-7 attacks occurred. In addition to it being called the Yom Kippur War of 1973, it was also known as the Arab-Israeli War, the Fourth Arab-Israeli War at the time. And it was also known as the October War or the Ramadan War. Now, when it comes to Azazel oppressing Xi Jinping and trying to get him to war with Taiwan, and trying to start a larger conflict, as in World War III, as in Armageddon, if you believe in Armageddon. What I would like to say is, I'm going to give you the history, a little bit about Mao Zedong. He was a Chinese communist leader. He was known as a revolutionary, a writer, and a political theorist. He was also the founder of the People's Republic of China, or the PRC, and many call him a murderous dictator, but so are many U.S. presidents. Let me add that in there. Mao Zedong led China from the establishment of the People's Republic of China in October of 1949 until his death in September of 1976. Does anyone notice the October connection? How Mao was ruling from October. There was an October 7th attack, 2023, on Israel. There was an October 6th war that started in Israel. Does anybody notice the October connection with Azazel, the Prince of War, the Principality of War, and how he favors October, and why this is proof that the Jews worship him on this Day of Atonement? So go on and have your Yom Kippur. I guarantee you. you will be smote with a serious missile hitting Tel Aviv. And it will happen within 1 year. You can go ahead and keep worshiping him. It's your free will. But if you do not stop, I'm going to tell you who's going to hit you. It's going to be Iran and it's going to be Lebanon. And U.S., America, don't think you're going to attack Lebanon nor Iran to try to prevent this. If Israel wants to be stupid enough to continue worshiping Azazel, when they get their shit rocked and blown apart and Tel Aviv got a crater in it, don't come crying to taxpayers to get you to go to war, to support you going to war. I've warned them now. They can keep doing it if they want to. Within a year, Tel Aviv will be a fucking ash heap. I don't care about no bunker. There's something called a bunker buster. Bibi Netanyahu can hide in a bunker if he wants to. There's things that can get you in a bunker. You need air in a bunker, don't you? So if you get your air supply fucked up, then what you gonna do down there? Suffocate. They're not foolproof. Bunkers are not foolproof. So the October connections are there, even with China and these rumors of wars and rumors of wars, as the Bible talks about. So Mao Zedong had a primary role as chairman of the Chinese Communist Party, or the CCP. His political theories were a combination of Marxism and Leninism, which is spelled Leninism. And so this combination later became known as the political theory Maoism, Maoism. Now, I've already warned you, Israel, do what you want to do. I will say this, though. Whether you do it or not, if you want to continue to do the blood magic to Azazel and sacrifice to him and worship him in your secret shrine and keep a mountain named after him and just give him all of this glory and honor and praise and worship and give him this energy, you can continue to do it. I'm still going to destroy him. I will destroy him in September. So you can do what you want to do. That don't mean he'll be around to help you. See, you enjoy stoking wars, Israel. You love to throw the rock and hide the hand like I said you did. I said it last year or the year before. I said Israel throws the rock, hides the hand, and then cries foul. You got a whole principality of war you worshiping. And then you mad when somebody shoot missiles at you? You mad when somebody's shooting mortars across your border? What did you fucking think was going to happen? That's why it's called energies and entities. They come with a set number of things that they either teach and or are embodied with. War just happens to be his primary one. Now, he is not the horseman of war, as in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, those are divine beings, divine angels that are sent here to wreak havoc, and to serve vengeance upon the earth. So the Watchers are not the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Those are divine angels. But Azazel is who he is, you know. And so, like I said, you can do what you would like to do. I'm warning you, it will happen. Even if I destroy him in September, like I plan to, you'll still get, if you continue to worship him going forward, you will still get hit by Iran and Lebanon. I'm telling you now. You can't say that Iran can't get through. You can't say that your Iron Dome is foolproof, because it's not. And you know why it's not? Because you in the wrong. You've been worshiping some old evil shit and bloodletting and serving some old evil shit. And so what I did was I told Tehran, if you throw enough at that bitch, meaning the Iron Dome, if you throw enough at it, it'll get overwhelmed and it won't be able to shoot down everything. So you flood it with missiles and rockets and drones, and then you send your big shit after, and it'll go right through, it'll sail right through. And that's exactly what they did. And you are supposed to get this vengeance, because I warned you, Israel, about throwing the rock and hiding the hand and crying foul and then, you know, committing these, what it would be called as like a self-inflicted fucking massacre, and then blaming Hamas, allegedly killing your own people and then blaming Hamas, beheading your own people and hiding the bodies and then blaming Hamas to stoke a fucking regional war. And then when you get to regional war, you cry and say, they're shooting at us, they're shooting at us, America, help us. Tehran is shooting at us, Lebanon is shooting at us, help us. But you started it though. You've killed all those people in Palestine. You've sent over 1 million of your Jews into land that is not theirs. You started it. So going forward, I want to address this these murders of these young women in Thailand. And this is the last subject matter. There was a young lady that was murdered in Pattaya, Thailand, Pattaya, by an Australian man from Perth, Australia. And Perth is spelled Perth. Pattaya is known for its low cost of living, its beautiful beaches, subtropical climate, of course, great food, and also known for sex tourism. Now, the seedy underside of Pattaya and some of the other beachside resorts, not only in Thailand, but, you know, worldwide, is that it is a haven many times for organized crime, as in prostitution, smuggling, drug sales. I would even say drug manufacturing, as in labs and so forth, and sex trafficking. This young lady named Tuchanak Donholma, which is spelled Tuchanak, her first name is spelled Tuchanok, and her last name is spelled Donholma, Donholma. She was 17 years old. Purportedly, speculatively, she met this man named Simon Peter Carmen at the beachside area in Pattaya called, it's colloquially named the Coconut Bar. And I'll read the article to you, and I will cite the article in the description box. They were seen on video walking back together to Simon's hotel, and then Simon emerged from the hotel without her. She was seen on video in the lobby going upstairs with him on the elevator, and then she never came down. But he did come down with a suitcase, and he was dragging the suitcase as if it was very heavy, rolling it. It seemed to be very heavy. He then discarded the suitcase in some reeds or tall grass. Well, what he did was he purportedly, allegedly murdered Tuchanak over 22 Australian dollars. $22. There was this agreement. Allegedly, purportedly, Tuchanak might have been a sex worker. She might have solicited him, or he solicited her. They agreed on a price. They went back to the hotel, and she said, okay, $43 at the beach, maybe that's what she said. And then he said, okay. And then he intended to walk her down, talk her down, haggle her down, and threaten her for less once they got in private. So, okay, I'll pay you your 43 US, not 43 US, you're at 1,000 Thai baht, BAHT, the Thai currency. I'll pay you 1,000 Thai baht, or 43 Australian dollars, not US, 43 Australian dollars. And they go back to the hotel, and then in the hotel, she never comes out. Purportedly, he was trying to get it half price. Whatever sexual favor that she was allegedly going to do, he wanted it half off once they got to the room. And this is a big motherfucker. This ain't no little scant, thin man. This is a big, meaty white man with a young 17-year-old Asian young woman. He could have broken her in two if he wanted to, easily. He could have snapped her neck with his bare hands. And before I ever heard it was strangulation, I knew it was strangulation. That he purportedly strangled her over 22 Australian dollars that he did not want to pay for sexual services or favor. He put her body, folded it up, contorted it up, and put it in a suitcase, and then dumped it in some reeds like she was trash. Now, what is going on in Pattaya, Thailand, that this keeps happening to women? I don't care if they're in sex tourism. If they have to use that in order to feed themselves and survive, that's what they have to do. Why is it that way? There's sex tourism in every country. However, there have been 3 women found in suitcases like that in and around Thailand in the past 1 year, in the past 1 to 2 years. There was, I'm going to read you the article. I'll read you all of the information, because the other 2 women, they were never identified. They don't know who they are. And if they do know who they are, then somebody paid for them not to disclose who they are. Meaning, if there's some organized crime going on with sex trafficking between China and Thailand, or whatever nation in Thailand, and they identify these girls or ladies with their fingerprints, and somebody may have said, don't disclose who they are, don't disclose where they're from, just say they're foreigners, and say we don't know who they are. You know who they are. You know who they are. There's nobody on this planet that you can't identify, not with the age of AI, unless they don't have fingers, don't have a head, even then, DNA. And I know everybody's not in a DNA database, but y'all have fingerprints, and then you claim you don't know who they are. Somebody paid you to say that. So what is the corruption going on with the Thai government that some kind of crime ring can pay you to say, we dumping these girls in these suitcases in the river, in the water, in the reservoir, in the reeds. Don't disclose who they are. You throwing them away like trash. I don't care if she's doing sex work or not. You don't do that. You don't do that to people. And you're not going to get away with this shit. So this is from the dailymail.com. It says chilling details emerge of 2 more bodies found in suitcases in Thai tourist hotspot, where an Australian truckie was arrested and charged with the murder of the teen girl. And if you look in his eyes, you can see what he is. Okay? If you know what you're looking for, when you look in his eyes, you'll see what he is. Hey, Sandra J118, welcome. And Mark says, that's true, Bree, and I'm glad you're talking about it. But Israel is a false nation and must go back to its right heirs. Same here in Turtle Island with us Moors. Justice is being dealt out. That part. That's right. Okay. Yep, Satan Yahoo beat the Yahoo, the YAHOO, the Yahoo, the crazy one. Yep, the crazy thug that's always talking about shooting some Muslims. That one, absolutely. Israel, them. And October is the 10th month, so basically it's a 1 month, very powerful, just like August the 8th month, very powerful, and September is a completion month. That's right. Saturn worshippers, aka Satan, tell Bree I said hi. Hey, I didn't mean to take so long. I wasn't scrolling down. My apologies for that. So it says this is dated the 29th of June 2026 and was updated at 1811 Eastern Standard Time, 29th June 2026. So originally published on 10/27 on 29th of June 2026. An Australian man faces the death penalty over the alleged murder of a teenage girl whose body was found stuffed inside a suitcase. The Daily Mail can reveal it is not the first occasion police have made such a gruesome discovery in the Thai beach city. Simon Carman, age 46, from south of Perth, Australia, was arrested after the body of 17-year-old Tunchanak Donhoma known as cake, C-A-K-E, was found inside a 29-inch black suitcase near railway tracks just outside Pattaya last Friday night. Police allege that the British-born tradie, named Simon Carman, put the teenager's naked body into the case before dumping it in long grass and attempting to flee the country after that on a flight back to Perth. He had earlier met the teen at the beachside in the wee hours of the morning and offered to pay her to return to his hotel with him, where he claimed that she pulled a knife in a dispute about money. Local police on Monday said a preliminary examination suggested that she died of strangulation. Now, I'm going to tell you my suspicion. Keep in mind, these are my allegations, speculations, suppositions, and suspicions, doll. Okay? I believe he's a cheapie. He's a cheap. He's cheap, and he tried to talk her down. She young, she trying to get her money. She said, no, goddamn it. He threatened her. She pulled a knife, and then he did what he did. I believe he did the threatening. He was trying to hurt her. She pulled a knife, and he was just able to overpower her. Very small woman. Daily Mail can now reveal that Miss Don Holma's death marks the third time in less than 2 years that the body of a woman has been discovered concealed inside luggage in Pattaya, adding another chilling chapter to the city's dark criminal history. The two earlier murders remain unsolved, and the similarities between the cases were so striking that Thai authorities are investigating whether they could be linked. It's not suggesting that Carmen was in any way responsible for the earlier two murders, only that Thai authorities are investigating whether they could be linked to the death of Miss Don Homa. So as I was saying, it could be a prostitution ring, organized crime, like the same pimp, the same syndicate that is running these young ladies, running these women, sending them out to solicit sex. And if you look at video coverage, I'm going to put the link for the video I watched because it was very descriptive. It showed the scene in Pattaya and it was pretty good. So I'm going to link the article I'm reading and the video that I watched, which showed open air prostitution. Just right out there. They had the booty cheeks hanging out and everything. A gang of women. Now, Thailand, I'm going to need you to get your stuff together now. I don't suggest you punish these women for trying to survive, but I'm going to need you to get yourself together so that people have better jobs and opportunities and are not in abject poverty in such a wealthy country. Thailand is not a poor country. Neither is the Philippines, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. The most recent of the two cold cases that were in addition to Miss Don Homa unfolded in September 2025, so just last fall. There were two other women discarded the same way. It says when the body of one woman, who was believed to be in her early 30s, was discovered inside a suitcase floating in a Pattaya reservoir. The luggage that this woman was found in, the 30-something woman, was secured with heavy chains, padlocks, and cable ties, and was spotted by a member of Thailand's national rowing team while they were training nearby. Inside, police found the half-naked body of a woman curled into the suitcase, but her identity and nationality remain unknown. Investigators believe she was a foreign national with fair skin who had undergone extensive cosmetic surgery, including breast implants bearing Chinese markings, along with procedures to her nose and chin. No match was found in Thailand's fingerprint database, and detectives believe she also died from similar to strangulation, asphyxiation, or smothering. The suitcase had been weighed down with dumbbell weights, an eerie detail that echoed yet another horrifying discovery just 8 months earlier in the neighboring Rayong province. In February 2025, a local fisherman alerted police after his line snagged a suitcase floating near a golf course in Ban Chang, which is spelled BAN, separate words CHANG, just 14 kilometers from the tourist hotspot. Officers opened the locked luggage to find the naked body of a woman in a state of decomposition. Like the Pattaya case, the suitcase had been deliberately weighed down with two 10 kilogram dumbbells, two 10 kilogram or 10 kg dumbbells in an apparent attempt to stop it from resurfacing. Neither victim has been identified, and both murder investigations remain unsolved. Carmen, going back to Miss Donhoma, allegedly met Miss Donhoma on the beachfront, which late at night becomes a well-known area for sex workers and is colloquially known as the Coconut Bar. Pattaya has long been associated with high-profile crime, despite its popularity with millions of international tourists. The beachside city has earned a reputation for violent assaults, drug trafficking, organized crime, and the unexplained deaths of foreign visitors, with a string of grisly murders and suicides over the years attracting international attention. Footage showed the pair walking from the beach before entering the foyer of his hotel, of Simon Carmen's hotel, at about 3:30 a.m. on Thursday. Oh, look at that time. 3:30 a.m. Is it a sacrifice, y'all? Is it a sacrifice? You're taking her back to the hotel at 3:30 and she don't come out alive. Police allege they had agreed on a payment of 1,000 baht, which is 43 Australian dollars, but an argument broke out after Carmen allegedly offered only 500 baht, or half of that, which was 22 Australian dollars. Carmen has denied he murdered Miss Donhoma and claimed that he only acted in self-defense. The girl's parents, Tongchai Donhoma and Ordi Butrakamare, both age 46, traveled from their home in Thailand's northeastern Kalasin province after learning of their daughter's death. Her Miss Donhoma's grieving stepmother said she wanted Simon Carmen to be prosecuted to the full force of Thai law, including execution if he is convicted. Closed circuit television does show the pair entering the foyer as stated, and it says Tunchinok Donhoma's grieving mother rejected Carmen's apology and said she wants him to face the full force of Thai law, including execution if he's convicted, and it shows her parents. Thailand retains the death penalty for the most serious offenses, including premeditated murder, although executions are carried out relatively rarely. A person convicted of murder can be sentenced to either death or life imprisonment, depending on the circumstances of the case. While Thai courts continue to impose death sentences, many are later commuted to life imprisonment through the appeals process or by royal pardon. Now, it says Thailand's last execution was carried out by lethal injection in 2018 after a 9-year hiatus. No executions have been reported since, although capital punishment remains a lawful sentencing option. Just one moment. I need to take a sip of water. My goodness. Now, I'm going to talk to Thailand about, I'm going to need you to get your country together, Thailand. This is all love. I love you. I love your people. I love your food. I love everything about Thai culture. Thai Buddhism. I love you. Now, I'm going to need you to get your country together, because this would not be going on if you are not, number one, having an economy that is improper for the number of people that you have in your nation, where people cannot make a good living. Number two, you not doing executions is a major issue, because people feel they can come there, do shit, and get away with it. Do crimes and get away with it. I offer my sincerest condolences to the parents of Miss Tunchinok Donhoma, as well as if we find out who these other ladies are that were killed, I also offer my sincerest condolences and sympathies to their families as well. Thailand, you're not doing executions. That it's like what I told the United States, and I'm going to let y'all in on my private conversation with the United States government. GUBMENT, GOVERMENT, child. GOVERNMENT. Government. I told you now. I said you got a lot of crime in this country. You states that don't have the death penalty, you are fucking up. You have the worst murders, you have the worst cases, and those of you who do have the death penalty, who do not actually do executions for long stretches of time, you fucking up too, because you're not putting fear in people. When the electric chair was humming, when that motherfucker was humming, it was a lot less crime in this bitch. I know, because I lived in a state that had the goddamn chair. You need to bring back the chair. Bring back the chair. You got too many pedophiles out here. You got too many people doing mass murders. You got too many people that are killing children and getting away with it. They don't feel a sense of, let me keep my ass in line and let me do some shit, a little less strenuous, so I don't get goddamn 40 to life, so that I don't get on that damn death row. You, California, are the biggest offender. Now, I ain't dissing the people that are out there on death row. I'm telling you, people going forward, you need to change your state constitutions, especially you, Michigan. You don't have no death penalty, and yet it seemed to be a lot of black women and black girls being murdered in your state. What's up with that, Michigan? All them black people up there around Detroit and Grand Rapids, and y'all ain't got no death penalty, and every time I turn around, it's somebody black being killed up there, and then the person, you give them a slap on the wrist. I don't appreciate this shit, and we can't say it's the Democratic states like Michigan and California, because Texas, you a big motherfucking problem too, because you have a death penalty, but you don't kill nobody. Why the fuck do you have a death penalty then? You don't need to have people on death row sitting up 10, 15, 20 years. You need to stick their ass with the needle. You need to give them the chair. You need to have them with firing squad. Bring back the motherfucking gallows. You need to get them the fuck up out of there in 5 years, goddammit. If it ain't turned around in appeals, if it ain't thrown out, if it ain't overturned, if you ain't got new evidence and you find out they innocent, you need to get them out of there maximum 7 years. Not no 20 years on death row. This is bullshit. This is why this fucking country is so bad as it is. You wonder why people always carrying guns? This is why. They can't rely on you to keep it safe out here. You can't tell me the death penalty actually being enacted or you're doing regular executions is not a deterrent, because when we look at other countries like the UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Saudi, who have death penalties and actually carry them out, very little crime happens there. Very little. People won't even spit on the ground in public in those countries because they know the cost of doing it. So you need to think about this. But some of y'all, a lot of y'all don't care. Well, don't expect us to care if something happens to your loved one. That's I'm gonna leave it like that. Now, when it comes to the Philippines sending these hitters allegedly at Princess Bajrakitiyabha, I have a problem with you, Philippines, because it's not your people. It's the abject poverty. It's the lack of jobs. It's the lack of food. And the fact that you motherfuckers in the presidential hierarchy, in the royal family, you know what I'm saying? When y'all had kings and, monarchs in that country, all you did was you ran a cold scam on the world and you said, well, we're not going to call ourselves king and queen no more because, Imelda Marcos fucked it up for us. Queen Regent fucked it up for us. She embezzled billions of dollars. Our family embezzled billions of dollars from the governmental coffers. So we're not going to call ourselves kings and queens no more. We're going to put our son, though, as president. Why is it your whole family gets to rule? Why is that? That's a monarchy. Why is it mama and daddy was king and queen of Philippines, and then son is currently the president. What's up with that? That's straight corruption. That is straight corruption. There is no democratic process in the Philippines. I don't know if you thought it was, but you need to go and research that Marcos family. That's not a democratic process when you have mama, daddy, and son, as well as all the children in higher levels of government and in positions of power. That's called a monarchy. That's called an autocracy. That's not a presidential or democratic republic. You may tell the world that, but if the world look and see that all of y'all last name is Marcos, what is that supposed to mean? You know, different than the Kingdom of England at all. And then the people are so poor. They living in shanty villages, living in lean-tos. It's ridiculous. Imelda Marcos with her filthy motherfucking ass had the nerve to have almost 4,000 pairs of shoes. Was corrupt as fuck. Then was exiled or left to go to Hawaii, came back to the Philippines, ran for a congressional position and served 2 terms and still got her motherfucking son sitting up there as the president right now. These are the heathens that I said their rule is over. These are the vampires that I said their rule is over. So when you see them fall, refer back to this. As much struggle as people in the Philippines undergo, and they got to come to America to get jobs. They got to come to America to eat properly. Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves. I'm going to read the history. President of Philippines is Ferdinand Romualdez, President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., Bong Bong Jr. His daddy was the king. Imelda is his mama. That was the Queen of Philippines. This is according to Britannica, so this is a legitimate source, okay? This is not my speculation here. It says Imelda Marcos, Filipino public figure, dated June 28, 2026. So they wanted me to talk about your child. I just happened to look this up on Britannica, and this should say last goddamn week. Damn near last weekend, a weekend before last. Damn, they wanted me to talk about y'all. And the the author of this article's name is Michael Ray. Michael Ray of Light. Okay, yeah, I'm here, Britannica. I'm checking in. I'm gonna talk, okay? Imelda Marcos, born July 2nd, 1929. You getting on up there, ain't she about 100 years old? You be 103 years. Bitch, you 97? You 97 and still on fuck shit. God damn it. You like that goddamn Elizabeth that I had to throw up out of here. That's what you is. That's what you is. All right, that's what you are. Is a public figure in the Philippines who wielded great power during her 20-year rule of her husband, President Ferdinand Marcos, aka King Ferdinand. Spain, anybody King Ferdinand? This is the Filipino King Ferdinand. Now her son is Baby King, aka Prince Ferdinand. But you know the cover story is that he President Ferdinand Jr. That's the cover. Shh, don't tell nobody, okay? Don't tell nobody. The woman who will become known as the steel butterfly for her combination of fashion and fuckery, I'm going to add in here, and political resolve was born Imelda Romualdez, okay? Or Romualdez. I ain't going through all this motherfucker goddamn back history. I just want y'all to know the bitch corrupt. I ain't reading all this shit, Britannica. Alright, I'm gonna get to the part about her motherfucking them embezzling billions of dollars, okay? Where that shit at? Alrighty. It says, Imelda Marcos' shoe collection became a symbol of her extravagance. with hundreds of pairs displayed at the Marikina Shoe Museum in Manila, the Thriller in Manila, you know what I'm saying? The collection includes luxury handbags and shoes inventoried during professional audits of her personal belongings. And the reason why they were done professionally is because they wanted to keep it as history, but also because she's corrupt. Her whole family's corrupt, okay? Now, the part where they have embezzled billions, you can easily find. You can easily you can easily find, and they still in power, but then they sending hitters to kill Thai royalty. They sending hitters to go at other Asian royals and other Asian powerful families. Sounds like a cartel war to me, huh? That what it sound like to me. The Asian drug runners, allegedly, I ain't talking about Thailand. I said allegedly it sounds like a cartel war to me. One powerful family shooting at another one, or a mafia war. Why would you be assassinating other Thai monarchs? What is your objective in that? When your country is fucked because y'all have been in power the last 50 goddamn years. Not 20 years. The Marcos family has been in control there for a lot longer than 20 years. Their son, Ferdinand Jr., or Ferdinand Marcos Jr., aka Bong Bong, who is the president, he's been doing work politically there for 20 years. They say his mom, 20 years. Nope. Your mama is 97. She ain't just been doing shit politically for no 20 years. Your history in politics there is 20 years. Your mama, that shit more like 50 or 60 years. Whenever she got married and got into politics. Why is that family just always in control? Why is it nobody else gets to be in control there? Why is it? I think the U.S. has something to do with that too, because they go around, doing political coups and deciding who, political coup d'etats, meaning, and deciding who's going to be on top where and who's going to do what where. Now, Mark says, Bree, I've been meaning to ask, are you still doing readings? Because I've been dealing with some head stuff and I want to know what can be done. I haven't done readings in quite a while because I still have spiritual warfare going on. But if it ceases soon, I will be able to do readings. So we'll see what happens. I got some things that need to be eliminated. And the reason why I'm not doing readings is because I don't want the interfering energy to get into anybody's reading. Because these are beings. I won't even say beings, because when you say beings, in my opinion, being is 3:33 on the clock too. And 1:32:39 and counting, almost 1:33 on the counter on this live. So 3:33, 1:33, 3:31, and I did say that the alleged suspect in Ms. Dawn Holmer's murder took her back to the hotel at 3:30. So that those numbers may be significant to somebody. These entities, because when you say beings, like when people say beings, I feel like that's more of a benevolent energy of like, okay, that's an angelic being, or that's a nice or a positive nature being. I call them species, entities when they're negative. These entities, they come in the house, they come in my house and they hover around, they look over my shoulder, they interfere with information when I'm channeling, they will strike me with a headache when I'm trying to channel, they will cause different aches and pains, they will attack my eyes and have my eyes burning, they will attack my eyes so that like it feels like something just attacked, like went into my eye and it feels like something stuck in my eye. They do all kinds of stuff, and that greatly interferes with my ability to do a reading and process information fluidly without distractions. And so the distraction is them being mad that they're caught, that they have murders under their belt of children, and that I told on them. Their issue also is that I've been killing vampires for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So these are strigoi. These are, if you saw that show The Strain on Hulu, that's exactly what these are. These are strigoi, the cave scene where that monarch went into the cave and that demon vampire took a hold of him and went into his body. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's true lore. That is true lore. This lore is deep in Romania, Slovenia, Slovakia, former Yugoslavia, Czech Republic. It's deep in the Slavic lands and other parts of Europe. These are real entities. They also they do a lot of shape shifting and stuff, but it's a lot. Like my eye was burning all day from about 9 o'clock. It felt like something entered my eye, and it was burning all day from like 9 o'clock this morning until like in the last hour. I don't feel it burning anymore, but it felt like something was lodged underneath my eyelid, and it was felt like a chemical burn, like there was alcohol or some kind of fume in my eye. That's what, these entities do. And that's one of the things that they do. They strike me with pain and wake me up. If I don't, if they feel like they want to fuck with me when I'm sleeping, they will stick something in my nose. One of the way that I got sick with sepsis, I was talking about in the last live stream, them using nanotechnology that they got from other entities, other extraterrestrial or ultra terrestrial beings. They work together. They're able to be on the 4D and other planes of existence, and they work with specters or apparitions and other beings, or entities. And they had this nanotech, and I found out how I got sick was, and I need to tell how I got sick because this happens. They do this to people, and they sacrifice people this way. The way that I got sick was, there was one night, and I remember it specifically. I was sleeping, and I felt something go in my nose and out my nasal passage into my throat. Almost like if somebody took a tiny little grain of rice, stuck it up your nose, and you snort it down and swallow, and it goes down into your body. That's what I felt happen. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? I sat up and I was like, what the fuck was that? Didn't see anything. Of course, it went down. Within 2 days of that happening, I felt seriously ill. I had breathing problems. I was very shaky and weak. I was sweating a lot and shivering. I didn't have enough strength to get in a damn bathtub and take a bath hardly. It took me 20, 30 minutes to put on a pair of leggings and a t-shirt because I was that weak and tired. I was able to muster the strength to get in a lift and go to the hospital. And when I went to the hospital, they did what they did with their satanic ritual, because that was all a part of it. They were willing to let me die of the infection. And what it was that nanotech had bacteria in it, whatever. It was meant to sicken me. And because I have a foreign body, the nanotech went in and infected my portacath. And for those that don't know, if a person has a Metaport, an implanted medical device, just like if they have a central line and they keep the central line in for a little while, if with it being under my skin, it's a magnet for infection. So if infection enters the body, it will go straight to that foreign body and corral around it and latch itself onto it and grow. And so even if the person takes antibiotics, it's very hard to eradicate the full infection without taking that implanted port out. So that's why it's dangerous for people to have ports. That's why they have to use sterile technique to access a port with a needle, because it's got to be sterile. If any bacteria enters, it can kill that person. It can cause bacteremia, which is a blood infection, or it can turn into sepsis. And sepsis has different stages where organs begin to fail. A person can fall into a coma, or they can die from organ failure. The infection will just overwhelm them. That's what I was suffering from. That's why I was in stage 4 sepsis. These strigoi put some kind of nano device, nanoparticle in my body. It went down my nose when I was sleeping and down my throat and went straight to my port. The location of a port is right below the throat, to the right or to the left of the throat. Right where your collarbone is, it'll be like 3 to 4 inches below the collarbone for many people. So that's not far. It didn't have to go far to infect me, and then the infection started to proliferate. And so when we're talking about nanotech, there have been a lot of people that have said nanotech is what causes Morgellons disease, which is spelled Morgellon''S. There have been people that have said nanotech may be involved with Lyme disease, and with how many people are getting Lyme disease, Lyme in America, from ticks. Now, I know it's a bacterial strain, but is it really a bacterial strain? You know, I watched doctors who were in fellowships, who were licensed and so forth, and had been practicing in different specialties for years, lie to me and tell me that I was not sick and that I did not have an infection. And then I almost died of the infection. They were waiting for me to die. And when I went to the next hospital, they were giving me vancomycin, tazobactam, and motherfucking, it was vancomycin, tazobactam, and it might have been one other, but those two. Vanc is used for sepsis. Vanc is not used for, we think you might have a sinus infection. We think you might have a little infection in your mouth. We're going to give you some vancomycin. No. That's one of the most powerful antibiotics on the market. You don't give that for somebody that ain't got no infection. So all those lies, I watched them. I got pictures. I got audio. I got video. They can't never say they didn't fucking do it. So when I'm dealing with shit like that, motherfucker running around my house, and I'm coming out the bathroom right at night, and I see a bitch step around the corner, a black figure. Just, like as if you're looking and somebody's at the corner and they just duck off in the cut. Like they just take one step and hide behind a wall. I'm watching shit like that going in my house. I'm getting, walking out of the kitchen, go sit down, and I look back and I see as soon as I look back, as you're glancing, as you're turning your head before your eyes even fully focus on where you're looking, I see a black figure move through the doorway, just walk right through the door, a closed door. I've already told who's been attacking me. I've already told it. I'm not telling it no more. And that's why I said the people that have been allowing it, they're going to die too. I didn't tell y'all also, I've been in witness protection all this time, open witness protection. James Comey was responsible for putting me in open witness protection, meaning he left me sitting out here like a duck to get shot. Anybody could roll up. I got to go out in town by myself. I have no fucking, armed security. I have nobody sitting on my house. Open witness protection, because he was hoping these fucking vampires would kill me, because he is a vampire. Why do you think President Trump had so much beef with James Comey, when President Trump is actually very friendly to me, very helpful to me? He told them to handle things, meaning the FBI and parts of the CIA and other high governmental organizations that do security and investigations. He told them to do certain things for me, to watch out for me, and they ignored him totally because they wanted me to die. So I can't do readings while this is going on. That was another part of it. Oppress her economically. She won't be able to move away. She won't be able to get out of the target zone. And then we can have all our Satanists and vampires shoot at her and gun her down. That's what's been going on. I've been in witness protection for years, and they just never told me. And then I started hearing James Comey, and Maureen Comey, a.k.a. Samantha Comey, that threw that fucking Diddy trial, that made sure Diddy only got 4 years. Yeah, that bitch, his daughter. I was calling her Maureen Comey because Maureen is her alias. Well, there were emails found between James Comey, the Nation of Islam, bitch, ass nigga that I've already exposed, and Samantha Comey, aka Maureen, that were saying, here's how you get in her phone, meaning my phone. Here's how you hack in her internet. I'm gonna take the firewall down on her internet because I'm in the FBI and I can do that. And I got the CIA NSA connection. So I'm gonna delete the firewall on her internet so you can go in there and hack her shit and you can jam her phone. That just happened the other day. Where's James Comey at now? Where's he at now, y'all? Is he alive? Or did they pop his ass for that? He let fucking Nation of Islam hacking filth into my internet gateway. He made sure my phones were open so they could be hacked. This Nation of Islam piece of shit was in my house watching me put in passwords and shit and trying to get into my accounts. So when you got this kind of stuff going on, I can't do readings. This is a part of their economic fucking oppression and shit. But I will be back to them at some point. I just don't know when. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it. He says, thank you so much. I hope it clears soon for you. I'm just going to continue to ground my energy. I know what you're talking about with the burning. My crown has been having the pressure all week. Try grounding with trees too. Try to exchange the energy with trees. And if not trees, then just the ground. And you can also talk, if you want to, talk to the angels and ask them if there are nature spirits that can help you, because they're very good with helping with healing of the physical body and grounding energy. Now, it depends on if you're going through any spiritual warfare. I wouldn't say it here if I were you, but you can also use Reiki if that works for you. That was a tremendous help for me against what I was dealing with, and then I had to stop using it because the Reiki works in a way of, I'm from my ancient lineage is connected to the Usui Reiki masters and those Japanese shamans. So naturally I was gravitating towards Reiki, and it was working for me amazingly for years. I mean, I started using it in like 2016. It was always working very well for me. Loved it. And recently, within the past 9 months or so, I had to, no, not even 9 months. It's been more like 6 or 7 months. I've had to stop using Reiki. And the reason why is because it was working so well for me at abating all of the negative impact on my body, mind, soul, spirit, and energy field, on my subtle bodies, dreamscape, and everything. It was working so well that these entities decided, these Strigoi and demons and others that they had working with them decided, oh, she using Reiki, and that's transferring energy to her from the distance. Well, we can use that because we use the airwaves. The princes of the powers of the air. That's how they can teleport and go back and forth. Okay, this is why they do a lot of hacking and trying to get you to sign up. I said that before. Trying to get you to sign up on email lists and text message lists. And then they track down chosen ones and attack them and harvest their energy through the internet. So what they do is they start spam calling your phone. If you sign up on an email list, a text list, they'll start spam calling your phone. And even if you don't pick up, it's still pulling some of your energy because your attention just went to it. And your device is in your hand. And it's the airwave is in your energy field. So they make a call, make a beeline into your energy field through a spam call. They make a beeline into your energy field through a fake text message talking about, hi, even if your name is, let's say, Latoya. Hi, Keisha. It's Bob with Rogers Real Estate. We know that you have a house for listing, and we would like to come and look at your house. And you may not even have no damn house. That's not your name. It ain't your house. That's an energy harvesting attempt. It's not just spam. Let me tell you about this text I just got. This shit been going on. So they used the Reiki. The Reiki was working. And then what they would do is they said, oh, the Reiki working. They sending her healing energy, whichever Reiki master she was using. They sending her healing energy, and it's through the airwaves, and it's energetic. We can use that. And so what they did was they bombarded my energy with a bunch of negative energy. So they used the Reiki as a bullet train to send me even more bullshit. So I had to stop using it. So they do this shit about spam calling, and when it comes to your phone, it's an energy harvest. It's snatching your energy. when they send a message, a fake text message talking about, "Hi John, I know that you got a boat for sale down at Jake's Marina. Yeah, we want to come out and look at that. Give us a call at 1-800 da 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 da." And you're like, "My name ain't John. I ain't got no damn boat for listening." No, that's them motherfucking playing on your phone. Don't play. Even if you delete it, it's like you gotta do something to stop or block or reconfigure that, because they just came in and snatched energy. They just came in and tried to get in. So don't respond to shit like that. Mark it, report it as spam, but then you need to check your energy too, because they just got some of it. And a lot of times once those things start coming in, that's when the spiritual attack gets bad. Why is that? Why is it when the spam calls start coming in and the spam text, then all of a sudden it's a bunch of bad spiritual attack? It's because it's the same beings doing it. It's the same entities doing it. So this motherfucker sent me a message talking about, so knowing that I'm Mary Magdalene, right? Knowing that there's a Virgin Mary who was with Joseph as of the Bible. These are real people. This motherfucker gonna send this energy vampire, aka this Strigoi, which is the actual vampire, gonna send a text message to my phone talking. And right when I was about to say that, that shit said reconnecting. There's your confirmation right there. Reconnecting. It said that at 15051. Reconnecting. It buffered for 1 second and then stopped. This motherfucker, knowing that, it's Mary Magdalene, it was Yeshua, it was the Virgin Mary or the mother of Yeshua, and then it was Joseph and the disciples, real people. This motherfucker sent a text to my phone talking about, "Hi Joseph, I heard that you're going on a trip soon. How would you like for us to come out and take a look at your house early?" The bitch been in my house. So what they're saying is, "Hey Joseph," meaning, "Hey Mary. How you doing, Mary? It's us. Yeah, I know you're going to move. We're coming to that house too." That's what that meant. Always read that shit. Read it down for filth. They calling me Joseph, but my name Mary. Well, those two go together. They're saying, "We know that you're going on a trip soon. We would like to come and look at your house for sale." Meaning, we already at the house you plan on leaving, but we gonna go with you to your new house too. That's what they're threatening. Whether they actually do it or not, who knows? But they're threatening it ahead of time. I got a bunch of them Joseph texts. I'll post them on my community page. If I still got some in my trash folder, I'll post them on my community page so you can see what I'm talking about. And then you can read the energy off of it if you want. And some of y'all are really, really amazing seers and gifted people. And some of you, when you see a text message or a spam call or an unknown call, you can see the motherfucker making the call. That's some of the things that I have as a gift. You can see the person writing the message. Some of you, when you get mail, you can see who sent the mail. It's called remote viewing in human terms, but there are levels to it. There's different layers to it. So those are some of the things they do. And thank you for your well wishes. Thank y'all for joining the live who came through. And so James Comey is a op. He had people in helicopters flying over my house. Black helicopters. And when I say flying over, I don't mean making like an angular side flight path. So not flying over the neighbor's house, just nearby. A direct flyover directly over my head, because they know the layout of this house. So it's not like I was in the kitchen and they flew over the living room, which is on the other side of the space. No, I was in the living room and they flew over my head while I was in the living room. Every single time they flew over, it was while I was in that same room. They didn't fly over another part of the house. They flew directly over my head. And what that is We're using FLIR imaging, FLIR, infrared imaging. We can see you in the house. We're monitoring. Those were James Comey's motherfuckers. When Trump told certain people to do certain things, they didn't do it. And some of them are not alive no more. Not because of President Trump, but because of themselves. All right? So I just want you to know this goes high level. This is something, when I said on my profile page for this channel, my about page, high level spiritual wars, this is the highest, this is majestic level. This is way over top secret. And when you got these kind of gifts, some of us as children, they make us federal assets. And they monitor us, just like in Stranger Things. Stranger Things was a retelling of my life. Literally. It was a lot of cinematic extra stuff added as far as the group of kids, because I didn't have like a group of guys with me and stuff. But it was very interesting. But it was me and other chosen kids. They isolated me like that too. They did that as a child, and they did it when I was an adult. So you saw how they were doing with 11 in Stranger Things. They were testing her at a nuclear at a black ops site masked as a nuclear facility, and they had her opening portals and fighting otherworldly beings. So high level spiritual wars, this goes way up there. That's one of the reasons why they didn't let me stay overseas. They were like, no, you staying on this land. You know, you can't go without our permission. And it's not like, well, they had me on a leash, but they do, because psychics are used by the military. Psychic mediums, seers, channelers are used by different governments around the world. Different governments around the world consult with psychic mediums and ask them, what is the likely outcome of this incursion or this war? What is the likely outcome of us having this election? Is it best for me to be at my summer house, or should I go to my house in the city? What's safer for me? Are there any plots on my life? They have psychics like you wouldn't believe. Prophets and so forth. Prophetesses. They go to the shamans. So they know about people with special gifts from a young age. Even if those people didn't know how gifted they were, they know. So this shit been going on. Be careful about spam calls. If you have to change your phone number, sometimes that doesn't work, y'all. Sometimes changing your phone number doesn't work. Because if these are government entities, if these are government vampires, child, nasty old government cheese vampire, if it's one of them, your phone is shot, goddammit. Whatever phone you get, they're going to get in it. Because you own the towers. All they need is your MAC ID and your IMEI number. That's easy to get. So you can go to T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, whoever, mom and pop, straight talk. They gon' get in your phone. And they want you to fight them. They love it. They love it because it's like they get a high. They get a piece of your energy. They get a high and they like, yeah, we gonna fight forever. We're gonna, and I don't fuck with Cardi B, but like she said, a bitch beef with me, we gonna beef forever. They love it. They love it because they get a piece of our energy when they do it, and they just so competitive. So it's that proverbial perpetual, in perpetuity, that is, battle of good and evil. So it's a lot of wickedness out here, and I've been bogged down with some of it, and I just didn't want to involve other people's energies. That's why I stopped doing readings. I've been channeling every day for different other reasons, like sometimes I get a message or someone needs for me to look into something, or sometimes I need to send someone a telepathic message. I be channeling all the time, but I was reluctant to do card readings and readings for people where they were exchanging money because I didn't want any negative energy to interface with what they were asking. I didn't want any foolishness in their reading. I like for stuff to be clean and very, very concise and pure as possible when I do readings and channelings for people as far as payment from social media. And when it comes to geopolitical things, dealing with criminal investigations and things like that, and lost people or missing persons, I have never sent the government on a wild goose chase. Never. Every time I have sent them somewhere and said, go look over there, every time they went, it was right there. Now that kind of accuracy level, who wouldn't be mad? You know, like, what kind of deity or entity wouldn't be mad and feel some type of way and be like, she needs to die. She's telling our business that we kill kids and we do this and we do that. And she sent them to one of our flop houses and we don't like her and we need to get rid of her and we need to shut down her gifts and we need to do crown chakra spells on her till she go crazy and till she don't wake up, and we gonna attack her in her sleep so she don't sleep until she gets sick and she die. They've been doing it all. Everything you can conceive of, they've done it, just about. The only thing they ain't been doing is no damn car bomb, because I ain't been driving no cars. You know what I'm saying? I sold my car for a reason, man. I sold my car for a reason because I wanted to be less trackable. And while I have to have a phone, I'm trackable. But goddamn it, they can't pin my car. If I'm driving around town, motherfucker can't spot me out. Yeah, that's her car. There she go. No, because I'm not riding in no car. I'm not driving a car of my own, registered to me with my address where any Joe Schmo can go on the internet and look my shit up. Man, please. All the enemies I've had, hell no. Hell no. They've been hitting Russian generals with car bombs. You ain't about to catch me driving no fucking car. For what? You gonna bomb my ass out. You gonna have to bomb a whole damn vehicle with a bunch of people on it. And they not gonna likely do that because it's too risky. So I made certain decisions and bitches was picking on me talking about she doesn't have a car. Bitch, I've had a car for goddamn 25 years. What the fuck I need a car for? So you motherfuckers want to be able to do shit to it, right? Yeah, you want to key my shit up at night when I'm asleep. You want to send somebody to knife my tires when I'm parked at the mall, right? You want to have your police vampires watch me on traffic cam driving around town, and then when I go in the store, you roll up and you spray paint my shit, right? Nah, you don't have that opportunity. So they were very upset about a lot of ways I was moving and was talking about, was she moving like a spy? What the fuck you think I am? I spy on y'all evil motherfuckers in the spirit. You mad because people can see. And they were also mad because I was activating people to have them to be able to see so they could watch out for themselves and their loved ones and their community. There are these covens of vampires and other entities operating in communities. And when children and people go missing, it be them. It don't be no accident, y'all. It a lot of times be them. So if there's a seer in the community, if there's somebody special, sensitive, intuitive, they don't particularly like you being there because they're exposed by your light. They're all seeing eye. They exposed by that. So it's been a lot of things. I'm grateful I'm still here. But you can best believe a lot of motherfuckers gonna lay down over this. And already have. I'm gonna leave that right there. A lot of motherfuckers have laid down thus far over this. Because they were hunting me and tracking me for years. And the government was watching them do it. And then finally the government said, you know what? Bye-bye. You know what? We got stuff we need her to do and you holding it up. You gotta go. So I want motherfucking low budget hoes to try me again. You don't never know what white man is watching you or what man of any race is watching you and to put your ass down because you won't leave me alone. Some people met their end. And I mean recently too. That's what they get. They shouldn't have been fucking with me. They had a long time to stop. I kept warning them, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Stop doing it. I ain't bothering you. I will defend myself, but I didn't come over there in your shit messing with you. No, they didn't want to hear it, so somebody put a hollow point in them. They ain't gonna bother nobody no more. They don't exist nowhere no more. They ain't gonna come in nobody's dreams and energy harvest no more. I ain't gonna warn no more. The warnings went out. That's over. Now it's reaping time. Like I said, and I send piss to them. I was about to say peace to the chosen ones and blessings, and it came out piss instead of peace and blessings. Well, the spirit said, nope, you send piss to them because you was talking about damn. Don't get on the chosen ones yet. You said I sent piss to them. Alright, you know what I'm saying? I did say before I was gonna pour warm cat piss on their damn grave. These motherfuckers ain't gonna have graves, a lot of them. Okay, nobody's gonna make no headstone for them. Nobody's gonna make no headstone for them. Nobody want to be associated with the shit. No, I said, okay, send them warm piss, but I send peace and blessings to the chosen ones, the anointed ones, the divines out there. Those on the right side of justice. If there are times for me to be able to do readings, I will do my best to email those of you, because I didn't get rid of my email. I will email those of you whose emails I do have. I'll send out like a little newsletter or a little just general email and forward it to the last people that were ordering readings and say, hey, if you would like a reading, I'm open. And then if I'm told by the divine to say it publicly, then I will. But we'll see what happens, because what's been going on is I'm getting the feeling that they're taking me away from the public. So what that means is, I don't know if I'm going to read for the public like that. I think it might be heavily screened because of what's happened. So those that have already come, there weren't any bad people that ever. There was one that came that was iffy years ago. She never came back. But there haven't been any nefarious people that came to me for readings. They're all chosen. They're all righteous people. But I get the feeling that they closing me down. They about to put me back up on the shelf. Meaning only certain people are going to get access to me, because there's some anger from my ancestors. There's some anger from my parents and my soul tribe that is saying, you've been out here for years. Motherfuckers didn't support you. When you gone, you gone. They don't get it. They don't get nothing from you. When you unavailable, don't come asking. We're not going to let you in. And so there's anger over that, because they were like, well, when you was out here, motherfuckers were shooting at you, spiritually lying on you, attacking your customers or your clientele, doing all kind of shit, destroying your life so that you would be, thrown pillar to post and moving around and unstable, meaning having to change addresses. And then as soon as you settle down, there's some dumb shit there with somebody starting shit. Like, there's anger over that. So they getting ready to put me up, y'all. Meaning they getting ready to say, you're not reading for just anybody. If they got to pay $1,000, they got to pay $1,000. They should have came to you when they had an opportunity, instead of sitting back, being jealous, being haters, and not wanting to support you at all, and not wanting to support themselves and get the answers they need that could open up and enrich their life, open it up even more. So I don't know. I'll see what happens. I got to do whatever, they say that is on the right side for me to do, but we'll see. But those that have come, I ain't never had no problem with. So y'all got in. The ones that have come to me for readings that aren't ops, there have been bad people that came to me for readings. I forgot about those enemies. There were a couple, that were fake. They were faking like they were friends, but they weren't. But the rest, y'all already got y'all foot in the door. Y'all got a lifetime pass, all right? And afterlife. You know, I always got your back. As soon as I can read, I'll read for you. Mark says, okay, I will do that as far as grounding with the trees and the bare earth because this crown stuff sometimes can cause panic attacks. Unsure. I also believe certain astrological patterns are at work too, very sensitive to bright lights and sounds. Yeah, I started having light sensitivity a couple of years ago, but it was bad in March and April. And right now, we have Venus, me, and Jupiter connect in a new sign for the first time in 12 years. So it was Venus and Jupiter connecting in Cancer. So that was the sign change after 12 years. We had not connected in a new sign for 12 years. And then there's some other stuff going on. The energy is very high right now. It is definitely. And he says it's so interesting that this started in July. It is the 7th month and the month of the chariot, me, Michael. It really is. So thank y'all for listening. I will talk to you all later. Not sure when, but you know, I just pop up. I'll be around. I'll be posting a little bit here and there on my community page. I don't post on Instagram, but I do reshare, and my page is currently public. No attacks will be allowed. Or, you know, you got feds watching, so if you want to attack, go ahead. The feds gonna be on you though. I just want you to know that. I don't think you want that Fed problem. You welcome to go on my page and do some shit. They're going to get your whole profile. I mean, your whole life. And run out. Who is this? Who sent you? They want to know because it's been a lot going on. So if I was you, I wouldn't involve myself in that because it's already people that's on kill lists. Not on my kill list. They on federal kill lists. All because they would not stop gunning at a federal asset, at somebody they consider extremely valuable, that they listen to and that they get advice from. They're not willing to get rid of that person. They're not willing to sit her down. They're not willing for you to fuck that up for them. They will fuck you up and get you out of the way because you're not offering what I'm offering. And see, that's just the nature of the world, supply and demand. Oh, the astrology, I don't have all the placements right now. Let me see. I'll tell you what, I'll come back and do another live on it since it's already over 2 hours. I'll get my energy charged back up and I'll come back and do another live on it. Probably, see, today's Friday. It'll be within the week, either throughout this weekend or early next week. I'll do another live on the astrology, what I feel is coming up, and kind of decode that a little bit, if that's all right, if that's not too long of a wait. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Anonymous Girl 799. I don't even know if I got your phone number because when I would go in my email inboxes, people would be like, I emailed you, and I'm like, I know they deleting stuff. The feds were deleting stuff, and also people hacking in, because those regular inboxes like Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, Hotmail, they are easy to hack. So I don't even have your phone number. If I had it, it would have been probably written down in a notebook that I lost because I had to move almost 1,000 miles away from where I used to be. When I was in South Carolina, I'm almost 1,000 miles away from that now. So I would thank you very much. Y'all take care of yourselves that are on the right side of justice, on the right side. And there was one more message that I had. I think that's it. I think I said everything. I think I said everything that I needed to say. Yeah, so I love y'all too. Thank you so much. Somebody's I got a mod on this channel. I don't know who they are. Cause when I went to show your message, it said another moderator already handled this. I'm like, who moderating though? That's that federal shit. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all see any moderators in the chat? I don't see none. Who moderating then? It was Cash App. Oh yeah, because I thought you was somebody trying to get in my energy, and I apologize for that. Cause man, they were really hitting at that time, and that's right. I remember now because I refunded your money. Yep, I remember. I was just like, nah, because that's how some of them started attacking me, and you didn't know that, but some of them started attacking me as I showed through Cash App. And I'm gonna tell you also, there are people that go around hacking and stealing out of Cash App. So if you can do like extra security, if you have Cash App, do that. PayPal, all of the payment processing or authorized clearing houses, ACHs. And make sure you do your extra authentication if you need to. If you can do two-factor or do the authenticator apps and get you a code to put in, do that because they walking around hacking people's Cash Apps, stealing the money out of it, stealing the money out of PayPal. But guess what? Cash App and PayPal know who these people are. They regular hackers. They ain't no motherfucking military level hackers. These are like bands of dusty ass niggas. Dusty ass niggas get caught by the feds though, ain't it? The feds ain't got no problem back tracing that hack. The feds know what that IMEI is on that and the serial number on the device they hacked from. They can't hide. Oh no, you're good. I would see what happened was when you typed your comment SM, I clicked to show the comment because it said held for review. And I clicked show. And whenever I clicked show, it pops up a message saying another moderator already handled this. And I'm like, who moderating? I don't see no moderators in my chat. It shows 4 people in the chat. Who's moderating? It's an invisible moderator. That's the federal side. Y'all can't see no moderators in the chat, right? Nobody got a blue name? Oh yeah. Yeah, you did. And if you sent that message, I don't even remember that. I just was like, I'm not going to keep your money cuz I only take money if it's a donation. And I knew it was a donation, but I didn't feel right about it. And the spirit was just like, give it back. And so I appreciate you doing that though. That was very nice of you. And if you can do two-factor, everybody out there that can do two-factor, do it because there's little gangs of no good people hacking Cash Apps, and these companies, when they go in and hack Cash App, when they go in and hack Spectrum Internet, when they go in and hack, T-Mobile, PayPal accounts, Venmo, that's a FCC, a Federal Communications Commission felony. Those are multiple felony accounts up under the FCC because those are communications. You are hacking an internet-based business as well. So it's just like a lot of stuff intertwined, especially if they're going in hacking internet service provider accounts, internet service provider modems and routers. Yep, it's no y'all. Yeah, I don't see no blue names in the chat. I have removed all the moderators. So who moderating? I'll take a screenshot. It might not show it now because he. Yeah, I'm gonna find that text message. If it's still in my phone, I'm gonna show you that Hey Joseph text message from a damn vampire from a Strigoi talking about, and I call them Strigoi because there's different like breeds of vampires. They're not Moroi, MOROI. They're Strigoi. So, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you like that, but I could not allow people to do that shit again because Nikki Kenyatta Lewis did it. Her friend did it. They was both sending Cash Apps. That's because they were like, well, send it and then say you want to read and send it and say you want to donation, and that's how they started attacking. So that's again the airwave shit, the internet. They were all working together. Them bitches was coming to this house too attacking. They were lesbian lovers. Even though they were living on different parts of the U.S., they were still lesbian lovers. I said Nikki Kenyatta Lewis was a closeted lesbian. I said that. Y'all act like y'all, not y'all, but people act like they ain't believe me. That bitch was a lesbian. Why you think she was only attacking black women? She never attacked a white man. She never attacked a white woman. But she act like she was so pro-black with a Duafe tattoo on her back. But she never attacked no black men. She never attacked no white men. She never attacked no white women, no Asian women, no Hispanic women. She only attacked the object of her sexual desire, which was black women. And brown, and a few brown mix, or like biracial women, Hispanic and black, whichever. Yeah, it didn't have nothing to do with you. I wasn't allowed to accept money from nobody unless it was an agreed upon reading. And at that time I had stopped doing readings. So yeah, it wasn't your fault. I apologize for that. But that's been handled. But I'm still careful. If anything pop up on my Cash App, I'm still very careful, because I'm like, I know, certain people do send donation, or they'll send like a SM. Okay. I won't forget that. Certain people will send me a donation like every year or every other year and be like, happy birthday or happy Mother's Day. And I always know them. They usually have the same Cash App. Even if they don't, I'll know it's them because they'll email me. They already got my email. But yeah, it's been a lot. It's been so much, and it's been extremely troublesome to my physical health. Very troublesome to my physical health. So that's why people gotta lay down. They gotta be knocked down, because they try to take my life. So people try to take my life, I gotta go ahead and take theirs, because they're gonna try again. That's how I feel about that. They're not gonna stop trying. So I got to go ahead and lay them down. They get laid down by somebody else, all the better. I didn't have to do it. But they got to go. Ain't nobody going to try to take mine and sit up. Yeah, and see, that's what they do. They love to attack black empathic women. Anonymous Girl 799 says, I've been attacked by black women all my life. Yep. It's an empathic, it's a spiritual warfare thing. It's probably got something to do with like high priestess or civilian energy, because that's what it had to do with me. It had to do with jealousy of, she was a Sybil back in Kemet. Yeah, she was a Sybil in Africa. She was a shaman here. I remember you type shit. And I'm like, bitch, I don't remember you, but I'm gonna get to know you again. And damn sure did, and some of them ain't here no more. So I guess they got their rocks off, and they got the fuck off the rock. How about that? I'll talk to y'all later. Namaste.